TWiGames.com.
Welcome to this week's episode of TWiGames.com. We begin this week's episode with Miyamoto talking HD gaming, Michael Pachter looking into his crystal ball. But first, rumors of graphic chip contracts have surfaced. It's being rumored that AMD has won Microsoft's next console and Nvidia has won Nintendo's next handheld. Brian, what do you think about all this?
Doesn't it feel like the age of good enough has just begun? Because up till now, it seems like every new console, every new system has been an arms race for bigger, better graphics. Doesn't it feel like, we're okay with what we have now? People haven't even caught on to the HD gaming thing. Here's one thing I don't like about this news is the Tegra. First of all, it doesn't really follow Nintendo's MO, because that is a really powerful product right there.
So they announced the chip. The Tegra is the actual chip?
Rumored, that's what it is.
Okay.
And it's, it's very powerful. The thing I don't like, though, is I kind of like how the DS is underpowered, because it makes you be innovative, and you can't just have a watered-down port of some console game on it.
Yeah, well, at the same time, though, if Nintendo's next handheld still uses the whole dual screen, touch screen, scenario, then, developers are still going to have to cater to that play style. You can't just port Wii games because Wii games are entirely different from, the current DS games. So if it's just more powerful, meaning better graphics but still same DS games, I'm all for it. Why not? You got to, if they're going to release a new DS, obviously the next step is to make the graphics better. So is the Tegra more powerful than the current PSP?
I believe so. And the best part is it consumes very little energy. But here's the big thing, is obviously if the AMD thing is true, that means Microsoft is very happy with the Xeon processors in the current 360.
Yep.
That would mean that their new console is going to be wholly backwards compatible.
Whoa. We can't jump to that conclusion. That could mean that it's possible to be wholly backwards compatible, but it's still up to Microsoft to make it backwards compatible. They could sell Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, Gears 1, Gears 2 through whatever the marketplace is of the next Xbox.
But here's the big thing I want to know, Rich. What's going to happen to all my digital content? Not only in my 360, but my PS3.
I don't know. Hopefully we'll be able to, play all our downloadable games on the next system, but maybe not. But, this got me thinking. Our gamer tags, our PSN IDs, we have all these trophies and game points and all this stuff. Are these going to transfer to the next systems? If these transfer to the transfer to the next systems, it's going to be very hard this next generation for Sony to pull Xbox gamers away and Xbox to pull PlayStation gamers away, because they're going to be hooked to that system with all these points they've accumulated.
It might stifle competition. I see what you're saying there. Miyamoto, when talking at a roundtable, said that HD gaming, Nintendo likes it, and that as more people buy HD TVs, of course they're going to get into that space. But he then went on to say, quote, "What I don't think is necessarily true is that graphics itself is something that's going to make gameplay experience better. So we're still going to focus on gameplay, but we'll take advantage of the technology as it comes out." Rich, being a graphics woman of the night as yourself, what do you think about what he just said?
Well, if you look at what he said, at its face value, okay, graphics alone maybe can't help gameplay, okay? But what I can tell you is that graphics certainly help the immersion of the gamer, okay? So if the graphics are amazing, like you feel more immersed into the game, you feel a greater connection with the characters in the game because they're more realistic.
I disagree with you, though. I'm going to agree on the immersion, but I'm going to disagree that I think graphics itself does help gameplay.
Okay.
And if you look at two of the best game makers out there right now, Blizzard and Valve, is they have such a good understanding of gameplay that it's integral to the experience. Like just looking at Left 4 Dead, each one of the characters has a different graphical look.
Yeah.
And because of that, their silhouette is different, and you always know who they are on the field. Same with Blizzard games. Each unit individually looks great, so it helps the gameplay. You understand by how they look, how they would act, how they would play.
Of course, but
so
you're saying the Wii can't have different character models?
No, I'm not saying that.
Obviously what you're saying is true.
Right.
And obviously what he's saying, because the Wii happens to be the only system that isn't HD, so of course he's going to make statements like this. And you know damn well that the Wii is going to be in HD sooner or later. And maybe Miyamoto at that point will stop making 2D Marios because he has a better tech on his system.
On my boy
just kidding.
Miyamoto.
Just kidding.
Look, I know what you're saying, but I'm 100% with this guy. I'm a gameplay guy. Not amount of graphics can do it for me, but I'm just saying that with this concentration on graphics, I hope designers and developers still continue to realize that it needs to help gameplay along with it.
Of course.
It can't just be pretty.
Of course. Michael Pachter looked into his crystal ball and saw a lot of things. He believes that Natal will cost $50 and that Sony's PlayStation 1 will cost no more than $100. But he wasn't done there. He also said that the iPod Touch is the most dangerous thing that's ever happened to major video game publishers. Brian, is Michael Pachter this generation's Madame Cleo?
Yeah, man! Let's be serious here. If he was following the trend of how Microsoft prices their accessories, $50 seems pretty cheap.
Really cheap.
Really cheap. The only reason I could see him doing that is because Microsoft seems really committed with Natal. So I could see them losing massive money per unit on Natal. I could maybe see this $50 price point. The Sony
Yeah,
thing,
but
though,
wait, even if they're losing massive money on Natal, $50 is outrageous. That's the price of a 360 controller. They're not going to price Natal at $50. I mean, that's just crazy. And beyond that, as we talked about previously, didn't Microsoft already hint that we're going to get some console pricing for this? So he's coming out of left field with this stuff. Michael Pachter, he likes to make the headlines, but this one's a little ridiculous.
this is pretty ridiculous. And the $100, unless he means the DualShock 3 is included,
or the camera, the PlayStation
that's
Eye.
true. But he says no more than 100.
Yeah.
So it could be 99 cents, and
Yeah.
he'd be like, I was right. I was right about the pricing.
No more than $100. I mean, that's the
What
worst
a
prediction
what a fortune
ever.
tell.
That is the worst prediction. However, to his next point, though, I will give Michael Pachter a little credit when he talks about the
yes.
iPod Touch. It's funny, I know a lot of people have the iPhone and they download stuff. Oh, 99 cents, they'll download
Right.
it. All of a sudden, something comes out and it's $2.99.
Oh, world is ending.
$2.99. Like I can't afford that. Like so, I own a DS, I own a PSP, and I own an iPhone. I'll still buy DS and PSP games, but I see what he's getting at. Some people who buy Madden for $9.99 on the iPhone, why are they going to spend $35 or $40 on the DS or PSP version of Madden?
See, those I can see
Yeah.
because they're very similar.
Yeah.
However, I don't buy his reasoning that, that gamer will grow up and refuse to pay $60 for the PS4 version or whatever. Because obviously people understand the difference between quality and kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he also makes this fallacy that somehow the iPod Touch is going to be $99 in 4 years. That's not how Apple operates.
Yeah.
It's going to still stay $200. It's just going to be a better version of it.
They've been doing it for years. They keep it at the same price, and they just keep changing the version. I mean, Michael Pachter, you've got to stay out of the headlines. I know you like to be on N4G and to be one of the top read stories, but when you start making things like this and they don't come true, no one's going to believe you anymore. So that's my advice to you, Michael.
Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford has been pretty busy lately. He said that having easy achievements can increase sales by up to 40,000 units and that Valve's Steam should be its own separate business. Quote, Steam helps us as customers, but it's also a money grab, and Valve is exploiting a lot of people in a way that's not totally fair. Rich, do you buy Randy's pitch?
Well, Brian, what I will say is that to his first point, I believe that.
Really?
I believe that
40,000 units.
Well, I don't know where he got 40,000 from. First of all, I don't know why he's dealing in units instead of percentages. That just seems a little funky. But, I mean, yes, people will buy games that have easy achievements. There's websites out there that literally tell you, here's an easy platinum trophy or here's an easy, 1,000 gamer points, and people will buy that game. Literally, this is not a lie. There's people on my friends list for PlayStation. They're playing Demon's Souls. When I go to compare trophies, they have a platinum trophy in Hannah Montana the movie.
Hannah Montana.
How do you play Demon's Souls and then play Hannah Montana? I mean,
they got the
clearly-
Billy Ray Cyrus trophy. They got that one.
That one was actually the hardest one, but they did get it. They platinumed it.
All right, here's the thing about Randy Pitchford and Steam. I know what he's saying here. I think he's right. He's afraid that if Valve wanted to be evil and Left 4 Dead and Borderlands would come out the same day, they could have huge ads for Left 4 Dead,
Yep.
and Borderlands would be in the back.
Yeah.
However, Steam seems to be like Google, where as of now they're very nice, and developers seem to love Steam. A bunch of them came out and defended Steam,
Yeah.
saying without Steam they wouldn't even have a business.
I mean, look, I don't know the ins and outs of Steam's business. I really don't, so I can't comment too much on it. I see what he's saying. This is a clear conflict of interest. I mean, you have a major video game developer, not even a publisher, a developer out there,
Right.
who are basically running downloadable content on the PC. I mean, there's a clear-cut conflict of interest.
but here's
here.
the thing: anyone else could start one. No,
Yeah.
someone else has to just sack up
Well,
and do it.
I think his point, though, is that somebody needs to do that. I think his point is it's dangerous for the industry to allow Valve to take off like this. Like, I think what he's saying is everybody's all fine and dandy. Oh, Valve has that taken care of. We don't need another one. But he's saying it's dangerous.
So you're saying
He's saying it's dangerous, and I agree with him.
I agree with him, but not wholly.
We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we discuss Uncharted 2, Naughty Dog's thank yous, and we level up with a little RPG. So stick around. We'll be right back.
Be sure to subscribe to TWiGames.com via RSS, iTunes, YouTube, and Twitter. That's TWiGames.com.